The one and only JuiceHead posted a video. What is going on with Starfield? And you guys know the one thing I love more than talking about Todd Howard is talking about Starfield. So, I mean, we gotta do it. We gotta discuss it. What is going on with Starfield? What is going on? It wasn't even at the Xbox showcase, and it's probably coming to PlayStation 5 this year, and it allegedly has an expansion as well. What is happening, dude? Explain it to me. JuiceHead, tell me the truth. Whisper the wisdom into my soul.
What is going on with Starfield right
I don't know. Tell me.
now? This past weekend was, of course, the 2025 Xbox Showcase, and despite quite a bit of fan excitement, Starfield comes...
Hold on, I have to read that. I have to read what the fans were saying. We have to. So do you think a possible second Starfield DLC will be announced at the Xbox Showcase, or will they shift attention to the Outer Worlds 2? Basically what I wrote in the title. I just noticed that Outer Worlds 2 is the big sci-fi RPG title in tomorrow's showcase, with Outer Worlds 2 direct after the showcase. Whatever they'd announced, Starfield could be regarded as unimportant compared to the new title. Disclaimer, I want a new official DLC because I love Starfield. I just worry that Microsoft will abandon it, except Creations now with Outer Worlds 2 on the horizon. Yeah, it's also kind of funny. You really do have to add a compliment or something in your Reddit post about Starfield. One member of our community back like a year ago after Shattered Space, close to a year ago, he was putting posts out there. And to be fair, he was like baiting a little bit, but he found if he put a compliment and said, I love Starfield, I'm just wondering if this expansion is going to be good and stuff like that. But he found if he didn't put a compliment, it would get so mass downvoted, nobody would ever see it. So it's a little funny. It's, you know, I understand the Starfield subreddit, they've had to put up with some stuff, you know, a lot of it from me. I get it. If you ever want to just be so depressed, go onto the Starfield subreddit and search Luke Stevens. You'll find some remarkable postings. They do not like me. Multiple people have I've seen posts where they accuse me of being the reason the game flopped, which is a little funny. I'm like, I do not have that power, but I'm flattered you think I do.
completely missed this showcase, leading to many fans wondering if the game is just outright...
I had so much hope for today's Xbox show, but no. After so much time of silence, let's not talk about the small update. The game looks so dead now. It's sad. It is genuinely a little sad. I was hoping they would fix it up. I was really hoping that they would build it up and it would be like No Man's Sky. Because there was hype and interest for Starfield, but like I just think it was way more work than they were prepared to do, it seems. And it seems like they're certainly shifting gears a lot. But, you know, this is part of the reason why, like, I've held their feet to the fire so much. You know, it's because I'm a fan of BGS. I want them to get back on track. I want them to like, get their head out of the sand and out of their keisters. But, you know, so long as you have fanboys and stuff that are hyping it up and acting like they can do no wrong, it never will improve. But, you know, I guess that's why we're here. They're just walking away from it.
Dead now. In this video, I want to bring you up to date on what's actually going on here, because thanks to past interviews and even some leaks, we do have a pretty good idea of what is coming next for Starfield. And I even think I know why it missed the showcase altogether. Starfield's in a really weird spot right now, and honestly, I agree with a lot of this fan frustration.
He said, what a complete disappointment. What a joke. The only thing we ever hear from Bethesda about this game now is nowadays is stuff off the Creation Club. The Xbox showcase would have been the perfect time to show off something new for this game. Unfortunately, Bethesda doesn't seem to care. Wouldn't surprise me if Bethesda has abandoned this game and are hoping the community will make content for them. This does not bode well for future Bethesda Game Studios projects with 1,000 upvotes. And I mean, I don't think that this is even hypothetical. Like, I don't think this is even a theory or a piece of speculation. It wouldn't surprise me if Bethesda's abandoned this game and are hoping the community will make content for them. That's the whole point of paid mods. It's why we raged about it when it was first revealed, because it's so transparently clear that it is a platform for mods to produce ongoing content for the game. Bethesda doesn't have to do anything for it. The community makes the mods. And yet Bethesda still makes money from it. They take a cut of every single one sold. And I've still not gotten like firm confirmation of how much money they do generate from this. I've asked mod makers who are partnered and they say, no, we're pretty locked down. We can't tell you. There's rumors and speculation. It could be as much as like 50%. You pay $10 for a mod on the Creation Club and Bethesda takes half. Might be way less than that. but I don't think they've confirmed either way. I've never been able to find it. Even if it's only 20% or 10%, still they're making money hand over fist from the people who are still playing Starfield and paying money for those paid mods, and they don't have to lift a finger. So why would they spend millions making DLC if they don't have to? And I'm saying this, I still think that they're going to do a second expansion, but I think it's going to be pretty minimal, but still. So
fans are correct to be annoyed over the lack of communication.
Bethesda makes it so hard to defend this game. I love Starfield. 1,100 hours in. 1,100 hours. I genuinely, like, what do you even do for 1,100 hours? Damn, dude. If it weren't for mods, I'd given up long ago. Knowing that Bethesda will never read this, I'm nonetheless speaking directly to you. Shame on you for keeping your loyal fans in the dark and throwing in the towel. If you decided to give up on this game and move on, fine. But let us know so we're not holding on to hope. I cannot believe Starfield was a complete no-show today. Thank you to all the modders out there who have kept the game on life support. I fear, though, we are getting dangerously close to the heart monitor flatlining with 600 upvotes. I mean, yeah. It is, and we know that Bethesda Game Studios employees, including Todd himself, have said that they read the Reddit, they read the forums all the time. Like, they check them out very regularly. So it's pretty possible that, like, Todd, the big man himself, actually read this and like is aware of the sentiment. I mean, surely they're aware of the sentiment, but it's not a crazy thought to think that they, you know, people high up within BGS saw this, because I think it's pretty fair and likely even that they did. Yeah, I mean, it is really just baffling how disconnected they've been.
Know why it missed the showcase altogether. Starfield's in a really weird spot right now, and honestly, I agree with a lot of this fan frustration. Fans are correct to be annoyed over the lack of communication again. Following the release of Shattered Space in September, Starfield got one more free update in November, addressing some of those lingering issues from the expansion. But otherwise, after that November patch, the game went radio silent for months, where after mounting fan curiosity and even some frustration, Bethesda finally did reply to say, "We know you're eager for an update, and we truly appreciate your passion for Starfield. The team has been hard at work, and while we're not ready to share specific details just yet, we have a lot of exciting things planned for the game this year that we can't wait to talk about when the time is right. We're always listening and taking your feedback to heart. Thanks for being part of this journey with us."
That was in March, and still nothing. I think almost certainly, and this is my prediction, lock it in, I think it comes to PS5. And I think that was going to be an awkward enough reveal that they didn't feel like doing it at the big Xbox showcase. So I think that they are going to bring it to PS5. I think they're going to bring it with the expansion, the next expansion. And I think that they're going to sell it as like the complete edition. So it's going to come with both expansions. And they will say, this is the definitive version with all Starfield content coming to PS5, Xbox, and PC. And they'll sell it as like an upgrade on those other platforms, but on PS5 it'll come for the first time. And they'll be like, this is the final complete version of Starfield. It has everything we're going to make, and that will be kind of like the last minute. Yeah, or they'll bring fishing. Yeah, exactly. They'll bring the kiddie pool and everything. So I think that that's what's going to happen. I think that they are not abandoning it yet. I think they are revving up to abandon it, though, and just move on and let the Creation Club generate recurrent revenue for them. I just don't see how they could do like 3-4 years of expansions and updates. Shattered Space was received so poorly, even from diehard Starfield fans, that like people were pretty peeved about it. And even now it's been a year. Do you really think they're going to come out with like another 20-30 hour expansion that wins everybody back? I cannot imagine that happens. So I think they will show more, but yeah, I don't see this continuing on much longer. I don't see it.
So yeah, definitely a nice message, but really just confirming that the game would get updates at a later point in 2025. And about 2 months after this, an update did come out with the Starfield May patch.
There! It came out! Now they don't have to share anything.
Sadly, if you weren't already playing, you almost certainly won't be interested in this one. It brought some really nice performance improvements for some users, including a new lower quality setting, which is...
Oh, you can run it on a potato now. It's a feature. Yeah, I mean, this update is nice. Don't get me wrong. It is nice to see it running on a handheld. That's cool.
It's really great for Steam Deck, and it even made some of the Shattered Space content finally buildable at your outpost after completing Unity.
But still kind of runs like ass though. Like, did you see that? Bro, GPU is like, ah! The GPU is screaming in agony. And they're still floating in like the 20s.
Some of the Shattered Space content finally buildable at your outpost after completing Unity. But that was really it. There of course were further creation changes and even bug fixes, but when it came to official content or updates from Bethesda in 2025 on Starfield, that's all we've gotten so far. One Twitter post in March, as well as a relatively minor update in May, although this update did include something very interesting that honestly might get some of you playing Starfield again. That being a new DLC named Watchtower. But this didn't come from Bethesda. We're going to talk more about this later in this video because it is freaking epic. It introduces some really cool new features into the game, and a lot of fans are praising this one right now. And overall,
literally the biggest expansion post-launch anything to come to Starfield has been from a modder. Like, that's the entire thing. He'll talk about it at like towards the end of the video, but that whole update is actually pretty impressive from what I can tell. But it's a $10 paid mod on the like Creation Club store. And I mean, at that point, it's just, it gets really sad. Again, when the best content is coming from modders. Like, I made that video a year ago or whatever it was, where it was just like, I bought and tried Bethesda's paid mods or Starfield's paid mods, whatever the video was called. And straight up, the non-Bethesda content was just objectively better. Like, they had HABs for the ships. There were more HABs, they were more detailed and higher quality when they were not the Bethesda ones, and they were cheaper than the Bethesda ones. Like, it was ridiculous. And it just gets to the point where it really feels like, okay, so Bethesda creates the platform for the really talented people to come and make stuff. And it's sad, but at this point, it's kind of the reason it's a meme and a joke that we bring up a lot is because there's a pretty big hint of truth to it, you know?
I do think Bethesda's statements thus far this year do make it pretty clear that no, Starfield is not currently abandoned. Bethesda has consistently fallen short on communication around their games, and it's almost been perpetually true for Starfield. I feel like this is the third time fans were frustrated and waiting months for some kind of update before Bethesda finally just releases something. So while yes, it's frustrating, I don't think their silence means it's abandoned, and instead, what I think's going on is the Xbox showcase wasn't the appropriate stage to talk about what's coming next to Starfield. Do you remember back at the start of 2024 when Xbox Era reported that Starfield would be coming to PlayStation 5 and the community freaked out? A bit later, Xbox had a podcast about how it would actually be for other games going to PlayStation 5, but at least as of then, Starfield wasn't on the table. I'm not somebody who typically jumps on board with the whole planned or coordinated leak thing, but I think in this specific example, Xbox saw this leak go public, saw the massive amount of backlash, and simply delayed their plans a bit. Because
Well, it's also like, if you can avoid people raging at your showcase, just avoid it. Like, and honestly, again, you got to bring it up. How many people were really going to be like, oh, thank God they announced a Starfield expansion? Like, how many people were going to be like that at the showcase? Like, all of these posts on the subreddit, so the people die hard, still really into Starfield, so they're following the subreddit. Like, the biggest post we saw had 1,000 upvotes. So maybe there's like a few thousand people actively playing the game who would be like really excited to see that. But I think you'd see even more people like talking about how crazy it is that they're bringing it to PS5, and like they just don't want to bother with that. So at some point it just doesn't make sense like to put the space in there.
I think
to fill that space with that trailer if they don't need to.
The big thing that's on the horizon is Starfield's next DLC, and possibly a larger update will coincide with the PlayStation 5 release of the game, basically giving the game a second chance with a totally new audience on a completely new platform, and a ton of leaks that have been coming out over the past few months are even backing this up. I mean, even just coming from the top itself, earlier this year, Phil Spencer was asked about Starfield staying on Xbox for the time being, to which he just said no.
I do remember that. Phil Spencer on Starfield exclusivity. Can you solidify that Starfield is staying put for the time being? No. I mean, that I think pretty well tells you it's not staying on Xbox. No. And I mean, again, how many copies does Starfield sell on PlayStation? I genuinely have no idea. I don't think there's like a massive number of people out there who have been like, I've been waiting to play it on PlayStation. I don't think there's that many people out there, but maybe there's a ton. You know, maybe there's millions of them. They release it on PlayStation and it skyrockets up and is super popular again. Who knows? Who knows? Probably not many, but maybe.
No games are necessarily staying on Xbox. Tom Warren of The Verge recently said that Starfield was meant to launch on PlayStation 5 with Shattered Space in September, but for some reason that plan was scrapped or changed. And it's just a super concrete leak on this. Nate the Hate, who got just about everything correct on Oblivion Remastered, has stated Starfield is coming to PlayStation 5 and intent should be announced this year. It's just a matter of when will the announcement happen. Even further saying, I would expect the gap between announcement and release to be minimal. And just as an aside, be careful where you're getting your Starfield news or info. In his predictions podcast, Nate the Hate says this.
Because, I mean, this is the Xbox showcase. This isn't the venue to announce Starfield going to PS5.
And yeah, I honestly think that's your answer more or less. Starfield was not at the Xbox showcase, but the next major update or DLC will be tied around a PlayStation 5 release, which for fairly obvious reasons, Xbox didn't want to announce at their showcase.
I wouldn't be shocked if they did like a shadow drop. We know they like those now. I wouldn't be surprised if they did like Gamescom. They announce, you know, like they did with the awkward Indiana Jones thing.
But there is one more thing that Machine Games and Bethesda wanted to share with you about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. The game's coming to PlayStation 5 in spring of 2025.
Like, you revealed this one more exciting thing. It's coming to PS5. Like, it was really awkward. It was really, the whole chat also when people were watching it live, it was just like, really? What? Okay. Like, it's just really underwhelming. But maybe they do something similar this year at Gamescom in August as they reveal PlayStation is getting Starfield. Like, maybe that's the extent of it. Might not be a bad idea. And you know, they shadow drop it. That's probably the best route. Shadow drop it with an expansion, whatever, do it that way.
A couple of months ago, we even saw some of these Starfield
Please
mod
clap.
pages
Yeah.
get PlayStation 5 logos, as if those mods would be available on PlayStation as well. What I imagined was going on there was some of the people in the verified creator program got early access to posting their mods on PlayStation 5, or at least adapting them to that platform, and we start to see some of that leak through. So I wouldn't be shocked if this is a release that's coming up soon. The fact that we saw mod pages get updated like this makes me think this could be just in the next couple of months. Nate the Hate even claimed that the gap between announcement and release would be minimal for a PlayStation 5 drop, and just yesterday, a Halo data miner found a new Halo API entry that, at least to this person, confirms a Halo game on PlayStation, and apparently it's coming soon. Maybe there's going to be a series of Xbox games coming to PlayStation announcements, and I could see Gamescom being a perfect stage for that. Or honestly, they could just randomly announce this any week, but Gamescom really is the next major showcase. It's coming in.
Well, and let's just be honest, it's a business expense. It's in Germany. If Todd wanted to take the family on a little vacation to Germany, we're going to go announce the Starfield's coming to PlayStation. Write it off. Maybe it'll be funny, but maybe it is legitimately just like, we want a free vacation. Let's put it on the business and put it on the company card. Make Phil pay for it. Like, at that point, yeah, why not? Why not? Get a free vacation out of it. Not a bad idea. Yeah, go for it.
In August, and in the past, Bethesda has been there. And even when it comes to a second DLC, I do still think that is possible, and to me, it's not that crazy that we haven't heard anything yet. Shared Space dropped in September, and if this Todd Howard interview is correct,
you know, content-wise, we're looking at kind of like what we do with Far Harbor on Fallout 4. We're like, okay, this is a scope that works for, you know, our development in doing this kind of annual story expansion type of thing. So
Bethesda wants.
I'm sorry, to compare Shattered Space to Far Harbor is like comparing filet mignon with a baby's poopy diaper. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, we're not talking the same language, man. It's just, that makes me worried. There might be a tumor or something affecting your judgment and ability to evaluate things, because they are so not accurate at all. I feel like we're in different realities at the moment.
wants yearly story expansions for Starfield, at least as long as the audience keeps buying them. And well, yeah, Starfield's player count on Steam hasn't been the best. The game still does seem to have a very solid Game Pass core audience, like a ton of other Xbox games. I've seen some arguments saying that more developers on Starfield, like working on a DLC, would take away developers from the Elder Scrolls 6 and slow down development on that side. But do you really think Bethesda doesn't have enough developers on the Elder Scrolls 6? Like, do you not think they could ask Xbox for that? I feel like when...
Well, I mean, it's... with Bethesda, the bottleneck has not historically been like volume of employees. It's historically been management and leadership, and they do have limited budgets. Even a game like Elder Scrolls has a limited budget. And don't you think the budget may be even more limited than it would have been after the underperformance of Starfield? Like, if they were going to get 300 million, 400 million for Elder Scrolls 6, that number definitely didn't get bigger after Starfield. That's what I'm saying, you know? Like, Microsoft is not going to be that willing to just throw more money after that big project kind of fell flat. So I think, you know, realities of budget limitations are certainly there. As for, you know, putting people on the project or not, they definitely do have teams specific for Starfield, specific for Elder Scrolls, and they've been planning that for a very long time. A lot of the time what they'll do is they'll have a team that is like, maybe new hires are working on this project over here while the core team is working on this over here. At Naughty Dog, for example, they are having the core team work on like Intergalactic, and they have another team working on another separate game that's secret right now. But they have a separate team of like younger employees, newer employees, that they were having work and train on their tools with like the remakes and remasters and stuff, which they've talked about before. It's a good way to train the team, is to just get familiarized with it. They also said that like Skyrim Anniversary Edition was something they used as a team exercise to get familiarized with the next gen of consoles before Fallout 4, and then they just decided to release it as its own standalone thing after, because they had already like upgraded it fully. So it's you know, not impossible that they could have a team working on Starfield and Elder Scrolls, and I don't think it would necessarily cannibalize too much, but it's also not going to be the case, I think, that they just have an unlimited budget here.
When it comes to the Elder Scrolls 6, Bethesda could probably get just about whatever they realistically need to make that game. Over the past few years, Bethesda has been growing a ton, and making some more Starfield DLC will make them some more money in the interim. So,
will it though? Will it make that much money? I don't know if it'll make that much money. I don't know. Maybe it generates lots of cash. I don't know. But I mean, it costs a lot of money. They spent a year on Shattered Space, and that I don't think garnered that much revenue.
I do think this all means that we probably will see another new Starfield DLC, but it's likely not coming until September or October. It's likely a very similar team to who worked on Shattered Space. And yeah, DLCs take time. They might need a full year to actually get that one out. The word Starborn was randomly trademarked by Bethesda, so many are speculating this will be the name for the new DLC. And I honestly think Bethesda has a pretty good reason to continue supporting Starfield, even if it seems like the player counts and overall interest is lower. Mainly because I think this is an exceptionally well monetized audience right now. Bethesda's...
Yes. There's a lot of money flowing in from the Creation Club, like more than there should be.
Releasing regular paid mods for both Starfield and Skyrim. And from the conversations I've had with creators, these are making pretty good money. Which means quite a few people are buying these, and new choices are available to purchase just about every month. The big new...
Dude, just look at that though. This is again like why people were saying stop throwing a fit over paid mods, not that big of a deal. Dude, look at this. This is a single player game, and they have verified creators. They have crime overhauls that fix the crime system in the game for $3. You can fix that. Tiny reasons to explore. So little like procedurally generated POIs, but they are instead like loot items and stuff. $3. A separate gun, like this Tommy gun. Okay. That one was what? How much?
Quite a few people
$3?
Are buying these, and new choices.
Yeah, $3. Beyond the Veil, $4. Lights On, so separate like lighting system or attachments, I'm thinking for bases and the base building thing. That's $3. The Rover hybrid vehicle, I'm guessing $3 to $5. A new crew, so new characters, $5, but it's on sale right now. Like, they've literally built something out where they have a game that has a bunch of problems in it, and then they have the mod community fix those problems and sell the solution to you, and you feel better about paying for those solutions because it's going to modders. But Bethesda, meanwhile, is taking a cut of every single piece of it. Like, of course they don't fix stuff. Of course they, yeah, it's like paying for patches, but you feel better about it because you're paying a modder. But you don't really process that actually it's effectively like, okay, you know, $1 goes to Bethesda Game Studios and then $2 goes to the modder. That would feel worse. That would feel worse. But instead they break it up like this. And it's just, again, it's very slimy. And that's why I really don't feel that bad about being so upset about it. It's really, really stupid. And, but they've built an audience that's used to it at this point. Because they say, well, it's paid mods. Yeah, but you're supporting the creators. Yeah, the creators that are fixing it. It should be the company you paid $70 for or $2. It should be like the company that built the game. But instead they're selling you like little bitty quests for $7 here, $10 there. And half the time those quests are broken and you can't reload the gun you get in it. Like, what are we doing?
Choices are available to purchase just about every month. The big new option...
You know, it's good that we don't get like more Bethesda stuff because, dude, my heart couldn't take it. If we talked about Bethesda every single day because there's like a new game coming out, I think I'd have a heart attack. I just can't. It drives me crazy that people are like this has become so normalized and like the core fan base and fanboys are just willing to hand wave all of it away. Meanwhile, they get served junk, except from the modders. The modders are doing good work. But Bethesda is like, it's just really, really too bad.
Is of course Watchtower from King Gath Creations, which is legitimately awesome. This might be one of the best pieces of paid mod content to ever come to Starfield. It's 1,000 points, or about $10, and this does feel like a legit Starfield DLC. It'll introduce a new faction with Watchtower that does have all sorts of advanced technology at their disposal. Over time, you're going to be working...
That one mech probably took more effort than all of Shattered Space. Like, they can even, like, you can call in airstrikes and stuff,
that does have all sorts of advanced technology at their disposal. Over time, you're going to be working with this resistance force against Watchtower. All these characters are professionally voice acted, and well, yeah, the story here is incredibly compelling and interesting. This shadowy, super powerful faction that you have to deal with. To me, what really elevated Watchtower is just the cool factor. It introduces a ton of epic new features for you to try out and use. As you play this one, it'll open up the ability to, and you really need to have fleets of spaceships now. So as you're just flying around or even docking at certain places, you'll find some of your other ships flying with you, and you can unlock more slots for this, which just becomes a blast. With Watchtower, you get into a ton of space fights, and having fleets on your side just make that aspect of the game a lot more compelling.
That is genuinely cool. Why could the developers not do it?
Having 4 or 5 ships on your own side makes some of these extended space fights a lot more enjoyable and actually feel like those epic space battles like you see in movies and TV shows. And it even gets you using some of those other often overlooked Starfield features. I ended up buying Falkland Systems to try out some modded ships for my fleet as I kept expanding my ship options. But I also needed way more crew now, and for the first time was actively searching for new people to man my ships, which was just really enjoyable and fun. You'll also unlock sky drops through this. This is going to be a new call-in that you basically attach to one of your spaceships in your fleet, and then you can call down things like a missile strike on the ground, friendly robots to help you, or even automated turrets. Some of those Watchtower enemies you're going to use enhanced gear or even mechs, so you'll need these boosts, and just overall this makes the core gameplay loop of Starfield a ton more fun.
And again, none of this came from Bethesda. None of it. And this is really cool. This is super cool. But it comes from a paid mod. From somebody else. Like, it's insane to me. It's insane to me. The orbital strike makes perfect sense. Reason to have ship. You can upgrade a ship that orbits above you. You could even do this. This could be the excuse for why you can't just like fly your ship in orbit. Maybe in the base game, it's like, hey, your ship needs to stay in orbit above you. So you can't fly on the planet's surface. But you get dropped off in like a little drop pod, like a helldiver. And then you get to explore, and then when you're ready, it blasts off and goes and reconnects with the ship. But then you can call in air strikes, orbital strikes. It's a reason to upgrade your ship and all that. That's a cool idea, and it could excuse in like a not super convincing way, but still it would be at least a reason why your ship can't just fly on the planet's surface. Okay, it explains that, and it gives a cool gameplay reason to upgrade your ship to get new orbital strikes that can be called in. That's cool. I like that. That's fun. None of it comes from the actual team making the game though. Like, it's wild.
After you beat Watchtower, you're going to keep all of these new features. Then yeah, after clearing out yet another outpost, being able to call down a toxic gas strike just makes the whole experience a lot more fun. A lot of the new features of Watchtower.
Oh, Rex, thank you, my friend. Thank you. Welcome everybody who just joined us. Sorry, my heart rate is elevated because I made a mistake and started talking about Starfield again. Sorry, not sorry.
Shower are super high on that coolness factor, which is why I think so many fans are singing their praises for this DLC. Honestly, I think I had more fun playing Watchtower than I did with Shattered Space, which is from Bethesda officially. To me,
now that's heresy. You can't say that. You cannot say that. But again, like, it has genuinely cool features. If Shattered Space had like the full thing for your fleet where all the other ships that you own actually get piloted and then they can come with you in like these dogfights in space, that's cool. I genuinely like that idea. The airstrikes, orbital strikes, that's a genuinely cool thing to add to the game. The big like new faction with new mechs and stuff, that's genuinely cool. Like, that's genuinely cool. I'm glad you didn't make a scene. Me too. Good reference. But it's just, again, it's so frustrating to see that the team that made the game can't do this with a year and millions of dollars at their disposal, but a modder can do it and make it look easy for cheaper than the expansion is, you know? How did you remove the Rode logo on your microphone arm? I covered it in tape. It's just gaffer's tape. So yeah, it's just tape. I did a sponsorship and they said I cannot have any logos for other companies in the footage at all. And so I had to cover it up. It's also why this logo on the mouse pad is also covered up with gaffer's tape. So yeah, I wish there were a sexier answer, but it's tape. It's just tape.
The best way to experience this one is intertwined with Starfield already, so you could use some of the new features even just beyond some of the Watchtower quests just as you're playing Starfield. And I think this is a big part of Bethesda's plan that a lot of people are just missing right now. They're selling a lot of these paid mods, and as you have groups like Hangath Creations making content this high quality, it really takes a lot of the onus off of Bethesda to release their own content and keep their game monetized.
No, it's not lost. It's not lost. We're very aware.
These paid mods, and as you are part of Bethesda's plan that a lot of people are just missing right now.
It's not we do not miss it. We do not miss it. It's unfortunately very apparent. Very, very apparent. Why make an expansion like Shattered Space that is poorly received and that people have high expectations for because it's coming from the company when you could just give like developers or modders rather the platform like Creations to do the hard work for you, and then you get a cut of that. Like, it's just easier. It's just easier.
They're selling a lot of these paid mods, and as you have groups like Hangath Creations making content this high quality, it really takes a lot of the onus off of Bethesda to release their own content and keep their game monetized. They
have managed to create a monetized platform where they don't have to make games. They can just create a rough outline of a game that people are kind of disappointed by, and then let other people do the like game developing and the expansion developing, and then they still get paid on it, you know? It's just crazy. Like someone said here, Anniversary Edition will sell everybody's mods in one package eventually. Oh, I don't know about that, dude, because I think some of the whole point of these modders doing this is that they can sell their stuff perpetually. In a year, if you buy this Watchtower DLC, paid mod, whatever you want to call it, they'll get paid for that. And you can't really just say, okay, we're going to release the all-in-one like unlimited point pass. I'm sure they could do it if they wanted, but I don't think that that's the strategy. The whole point also for Bethesda is that they make money years after the fact through paid mods. So for them, I don't think they would ever include all the paid mods in one pack. I don't think they would ever do that. Like, they'll release both expansions, sure, but they're not going to do the paid mods all in one package. No way. Sean Dara, thank you. Good to see you, my friend. 30 months. Ooh, baby. Haven't cut a live in 1 minute, but watching the uploads. Hope you're well, my man. Hello, Chat Brigade. Yes, hello, Sean. Hello. Glad to have you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope things are kind of calming down for you. I know you've been working like a madman. A mad lad, dare I say. Real serious, thank you for the super chat as well. The issue here is that Bethesda used to be associated with pedigree. If it wasn't the company behind the Elder Scrolls or Fallout, we'd say, oh, lazy devs, game might suck, but letting modders make money isn't too bad. Well, I think people are already saying that. You say, oh, lazy devs, game might suck, but letting modders make money isn't too bad. That's what people are saying. That's why they're willing to spend $10 on Watchtower, because they're like, well, at least it's going to the modders. But they kind of don't appreciate the reality that Bethesda is also taking, we don't know exactly how much. They might be taking as much as $5 out of that 10 just for creating the platform. We don't know what rate they got. But that's wild. Like that's crazy. And it's just, again, they've created a platform that gives them an excuse not to make games. And not to make expansions, because other people will do it for them and probably do it better.
Doing that through a lot of the paid mods and other creators out there. The PS5 release just means a lot more players who might be interested in buying paid mods monthly or bi-monthly. Although releasing paid and free mods at the same time has almost certainly come with a cost to free modding. Starfield's free modding scene definitely feels like it's a bit hampered compared to where other games were at this point after release, like Fallout 4 or Skyrim. A huge part of that is some of the coolest content, like some of the things I was showing you in the background of this video, are paid mods. They were released behind a paywall. With that said, if you're looking for a genuine free reason to replay Starfield right now, Star Wars Genesis is pretty incredible. This is a Starfield Star Wars mod list that you can install with an automated installer. It'll overhaul the main story to be Star Wars themed. So it'll still feature many of the main story beats of Starfield, those big things are still there, but basically with a fresh Star Wars coat of paint, which honestly could up the interest.
Look at the overall to the city too.
For a ton of you, particularly those who are already diehard Star Wars fans.
But again, isn't it just crazy?
Alucard donated $10 through Super Chat.
Thank you, my friend.
King Gath does an amazing job with his mods. I really enjoy the Sim Settlements 2 mod he did for Fallout 4. I might check out Watchtower, but that means playing Starfield.
But then I have to play Starfield. Yeah, dude. But like, it's this, the mods fixing Bethesda games has been sort of a meme for a very long time. Okay. It goes even back with Fallout 4, people were talking about that. But also at the same time, it's never been, in my view, this bad. Okay. Like the difference is now, like back with Fallout 4, back with even games that they publish like New Vegas or Fallout 3, which of course they made, and Skyrim. Modders would fix bugs and they fix performance and they fix like soft locks and hard locks and they fix stuff for the games, but it was free and it was something the community did as a love letter to the community, you know, to help them out. Now, because there's the creations platform, everything is paid. Like everything is about money. So if you want to make the game fun,
Sean Dara has just,
you know, oh yeah, I forgot I have the Joe Raptor thing. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Yeah, man, working like an absolute freak. Next month, I'm headed to Belfast and also doing a few other trips, cough, Colorado, and a few other places in the U.S. Really looking forward to this overdue holiday. Yeah, dude, you've earned it. You've been working your butt off and have a fantastic time. I also have a couple trips and I have one trip maybe late next month, which I don't know if it's fully happening. We're still figuring it out, but if it happens next month, it will be literally the most insane trip I've ever taken, but we'll see if that happens. Derek, thank you for that 20, by the way, as well. Thank you guys for the very, very generous super chats. My goodness. Bethesda has to get Elder Scrolls 6 right if they Starfield it. I like that that's a verb. If they Starfield it, Microsoft and Xbox should intervene, and they BGS shouldn't be allowed to move on to Fallout without some serious corrective action orders or action taking place. Yeah, I think they really have to. If Elder Scrolls 6 also is a swing and a miss and doesn't drive a lot of engagement, people are frustrated and disappointed by it, that'll be a major blow. And I think they know that too. I mean, it's not a mystery. But yeah, it's just yeah. The stakes are very high. Yeah, very high. Oh, and Sean, thank you for the 5 gifteds. Welcome everybody. If you just got gifted a membership, join the Discord. Connect your Discord account to your YouTube account and you'll get to join the Discord. It'll be awesome. Yeah, it's just, I feel like specifically because now the mods can be paid and the audience has been like, they've sort of seen that normalized and they are used to it. Now, if you have a fix, like we saw just a minute ago, if you have a fix for a stuttering issue or the crime system or new NPCs or this or that, sell it for $1. Sell it for 100 points, creation credits or whatever they call them. Sell it for 100. You make $1. That may only be 50 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents a pop. But if you're getting a few thousand of those, that's decent for a quick mod you threw together, especially when previously it would have been free. And once that becomes the standard for like these fixes to the game, the whole idea of Bethesda games starts to kind of fall apart in my view, because then it's, again, all about money. The only way you can have that customized fun experience is if you're throwing money. And yes, I know Nexus Mod Manager still exists, but a lot of these big mods, they are like specifically going on the Creation Club to sell them because that's how they can justify having a bigger team on them and doing what they need to do to make them exciting. So a lot of those bigger projects are not ending up on Nexus Mod Manager and are not free, you know? So it's just, again, I feel like the Creation Club paid mod thing that they revealed back in, I think, 2018 started this whole thing, and it's really just crazy. Yeah, Nexus did just sell as well. That's the other thing. They sold earlier today, it was announced. Who knows where that goes? Buckle up, buckaroo. Oh, this Star Wars mod? Probably not long for this world. Tell you what, who knows? I don't know if this is through Nexus, but if Disney catches a whiff of it, oh God.
Starfield, those big things are still there, but basically with a fresh Star Wars coat of paint, which honestly could up...
Oh, you didn't hear? You guys didn't hear? Yeah, no, Nexus Mods just sold. An update from Dark One. After almost 24 years of running Nexus Mods, the time has come for me to step back to from the day-to-day management of the site. This isn't a decision I've made lightly, far from it, but one I think is in both my and the community's best interests. Describes how he started it, blah, blah. After months of meetings and face-to-face talks, and after a whole lot of soul searching, I'm thrilled to say that I truly believe I've found the exact right people for the task to take it over. So yes, the ownership of Nexus Mods has changed hands, but I want to be clear, this isn't some corporate exit or backroom deal. This is me doing something I probably should have done years ago, taking care of myself, reclaiming some headspace, and finally letting go of the idea that I have to do everything and be responsible for everything myself. So who knows? They've sold it to someone. Could mean that nothing changes. It could mean that now they're going to start charging for mods more regularly, and that's going to be the standard. Who knows? But it's not great. I'd rather it didn't happen. But anyway, continuing.
The interest for a ton of you, particularly those who are already diehard Star Wars fans, because this does genuinely change a ton about the game. Nearly all of the NPCs you encounter are either a Star Wars race now or using Star Wars weapons or armors. The United Colonies overall becomes the Imperial Empire, as well as other factions are changed. And in actual gameplay, you just see a ton of new stuff. Combat encounters had me constantly searching inventories for these new but very familiar weapons, and I would almost say, if you're a giant Star Wars fan right now, this might be a must download. Even if you're only experiencing this world for a few hours, you can still have a ton of fun and get really immersed in everything happening around you. But with that said, that is where Starfield stands right now and where I think this game is going. I don't think it's quite abandoned, but there is a clear strategy shift here, as I do suspect Bethesda has a lot riding on this upcoming PlayStation 5 release for Starfield and even their future plans for the title.
Yeah, because again, it's like we said earlier, what are the odds that Microsoft gives Bethesda like an unlimited check for Elder Scrolls 6 after Starfield? I think the odds plummeted. I think chances are right now that they are being very, very cautious about spending too much money on it, because they gave Starfield every single tool on their belt. They helped them out in every way they could. But is that enough? I don't think so. I think demonstrably it hasn't proven to be enough. So it's going to be fascinating to see. But I genuinely don't know how many people out there are going to be buying the game on PlayStation, you know? I genuinely don't know. Maybe I got to do a poll on the main channel. Maybe we do it on the The live channel is big too. Maybe we do it here. If BGS released Starfield on PS5, would you buy it? And we'll say for 70 with DLC with DLC for 70. Would you buy it? Is that a fair question? Is that a fair question? If BGS released Starfield on PlayStation 5 with DLC or with maybe 2 expansions for $70, would you buy it? But there's got, I mean, you never know. You never know. Yes, no, and then I'll do a see results. Like, no, everybody should be able to say yes or no, or I'll do a wait for sale. Yes, no, wait for sale. Is that fair? Does that cover everything? X will probably give you a better idea. Yeah, it might. I could do it on both and then compare the two. I'm going to say no, but I'll refresh this in a few minutes and we'll see where it's at. We'll see where it's at. Maybe I go to this. Okay. Or I'll just copy. Make my life easier. Hey, we got 5% of people saying yeah. Hell nah. Hell no, too boring. Oh, man. That's funny. That's funny. He took my thing. Red flag.